welcome to my YouTube channel. This one is all about the drums. Hello. I wanted to do an episode about my drum collection. I started playing drums back in the 70s, and I got my first drum kit, a Rogers kit, from my neighbor Tim. And that was a great kit to learn on, just a little 5-piece kit. And back then, you know, I was learning stuff like Kiss and Aerosmith and Zeppelin, so it was a perfect kit. And I used that kit throughout the 70s. I purchased my first brand new kit in the 80s. And it was a very expensive kit back in the 80s, and it's still very expensive for today's standards. Back then in the early 80s, you know, I was into the progressive bands like Yes and Genesis and Marillion and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And even when the 80s were coming in, the heavy metal thing was starting to happen. So everybody was going with a big kit. So of course, I got the biggest kit I could get. It was actually 13 pieces. And that was a great kit. Lasted me all through the 80s, and it was a great kit. As I went through more and more kits, I kind of had a fondness for DW kits. And I started getting into them about 15, 20 years ago. And I just found they were just great kits. They were built really well. They sounded great. So in my current collection, I have 2 DW kits that you're going to see. My current collection, I have 3 drum sets, and they're all for various reasons. I'll also take you through a little bit about my snare collection. I've got quite a few snares, and I'll talk about some of those. And then I'll save the best for last, my all-time favorite piece of drum equipment. It may be my all-time favorite piece of equipment, period. I'll show you at the very end of this video. So I hope you enjoy all of these. It's taken me a long time to collect these as well, so I hope you enjoy it. Here you go. This is a DW Performance Series kit in the white marine pearl, and I put this kit together for my Pink Floyd Experience shows. It does have a combination of Sabian HHX Evolution and Paiste 2002 cymbals. It does have a matching set of Remo Roto toms in the 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14 sizes, and a 32-inch Paiste gong in the mirrored finish. This is the Roland TD30 KV V-Drum kit, and I use this kit for rehearsals and when I just want to practice with headphones on. You'll notice on this kit and my other kits I have rear view mirrors mounted, and that allows me to see the video screens behind me as I'm playing. And this is a Roland SPD sampling pad, and I can trigger all kinds of different samples just by hitting the various pads. This is my DW Collector Series Private Reserve kit. I custom ordered this kit back in 2007, and it was made from an 800-year-old waterfall bubinga log from Africa. All of the metal that you see on this drum set is 24 karat gold plated. All of the drums are also signed on the inside by John Good, the president of DW Drums. This really is the nicest drum set in the world. This is my snare drum collection. On the right is a Mapex birch snare. The next one is an extra deep DW chrome snare. Then the wood one is a Tama bubinga inlaid with Swarovski crystals. Red one is an Orange County drum and percussion. Then a Ludwig Black Beauty, and another Ludwig vintage early 1900s. I wanted to talk to you about my favorite piece of drum equipment, and probably my favorite piece of equipment that I own, period. This is a early 1900 Ludwig & Ludwig snare drum. And right here there's a Ludwig & Ludwig Chicago emblem, and this dates this drum back to the 1918 or 1919. It is a 6.5 by 14 snare with a brass shell that's chrome plated. This drum has the original strainer. It still hasn't been replaced. And one of the unusual things about this snare is you're going to see a series of holes drilled right here. And this is what's referred to as a light bulb snare. Back in the early 1900s, they used to use calf skin on the heads. And the calf skin would expand or contract depending on the temperature of the room. So they installed a light bulb, and you would turn the light bulb on as you were playing, and it would keep the drum a consistent temperature so the pitch wouldn't go up or down. This is a very rare drum. You do not see very many of these in circulation. This drum came across my path about 10 years ago, and I bought it, and I couldn't be happier. I've used this drum on many shows, and the sound men, my bandmates, the audience members, they all comment that it's the perfect snare and it's the perfect snare drum sound. So with that, I'm going to let my bandmates from Is It Floyd, a Pink Floyd Experience take us out. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.